Revival, I'm in the building.
Let's go.
Live with the Woodlog Roll!
Let's go.
Let's go.
Still love that intro. I just love that intro. Welcome back to New York Revival, baby. It's a Freaky Friday show. And the topics change on Freaky Fridays, and today's is obvious. Our guy Eli Manning was snubbed. But before we go there, I'm Al Jefe. He's Mr. Glass Half Full, Spiro, Big Dog, whatever you want to call him. Our fearless leader, Eli Rex, I believe will be joining us.
Hey.
Hey. I think he's going to jump on. But obviously the big news, Eli Manning, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. We've spent 5 years talking about this topic. A lot of fans are shocked. Some are coming out of the woodwork saying he's not even a Hall of Famer. Don't know what you're talking about. What is your first reaction now that the dust has settled? It's official. Where do you want to start?
Well, you said we've talked about this I feel like we were talking about this even before he retired. Like this Eli Hall of Fame conversation was like happening like in 2016. You know, it's been it's almost been a decade.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to some closure. I'm like, okay, he's probably getting in first ballot, maybe even second ballot. Like I started to say, okay, whatever. But now it seems like we're gonna have this conversation for who knows how many more years at this point. And that's what it pisses me off the most. Like initially, I was dead set on like, hey, he's gonna get in because the law of numbers, like there's too many people after him. He's a Manning. He's from New York. Like that bias, I thought he's in. And then I started hearing the whispers from a lot of people out there, some more than just whispers. They're really telling us everything they knew about the situation. And I'm not going to name any names, but it seemed that he was not going to get in at some point yesterday. And I was like, okay, I resigned my mind to it. I was like, okay, well, he'll probably finish it like right near the top and like he'll get it next year, or whatever. And then you see the ballot, and he doesn't even finish in the top 10 in a weak class. And I just this fury just rose up in me. And I woke up this morning just fucking irate, just pissed. And I didn't think I'd be here right now. Like I didn't think I'd be this angry, but here I am. Here I am, Jeff. What about you? What do you think?
Let it out, okay? It's not healthy to keep that shit in. Thank God you have a show to go and release the hounds when you need to, right? But this is like everybody I'm talking to feels the same. This year's Hall of Fame class, let's take a step back because the whole thing just seems a little weird to me. Number one, you're hearing that he wasn't even close. He didn't make it into the top 7 or top 10 or something like that. And it's like, dude, this class was not chock full of insane names where you're just okay, obvious. But I want to call out 2 other people that did not make it in. Luke Kuechly, number 1.
Right.
And number 2 is Adam Vinatieri. And, for Luke, yes, he played 8 years, right? It's certainly a smaller sample size. Sure. But his resume, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 2012. Defensive Player of the Year, 2013. So sophomore year, he's already the best defensive player in the fucking game.
Star.
5-time first-team All-Pro. 7-time Pro Bowler. I mean, he actually has got a similar resume to Patrick Willis, and Patrick Willis had to wait a while before he got in. I don't understand. I don't understand that. And then, special teams guys tend to be treated a little bit differently with football, right? Sure. But I think there are exceptions, and Adam Vinatieri is absolutely one of those exceptions. You think of him, you think of the Colts, the Patriots, the snow game. Here's his resume here. Game tying and game winning kicks in the tuck rule game, right? So beyond clutch in the biggest moments. He had a walk-off against the Rams in a different Super Bowl. He kicked the game winner against the Panthers in the Super Bowl. He's the all-time. I mean, what else do you need? He's the all-time leader in sports in the history of the NFL. I think he played 24 seasons. Adam Vinatieri should, yes, he's a kicker at special teams. The all-time leader in points all time.
I don't get it. And he was a definition of clutch. Like every time he stepped up with the game on the line, you knew it was game over, you know, or it's a tie game, like whatever the situation was. You know he's going to hit the kick. You know he's going to come through. Like he was the first real, like, you know, automatic kicker that I remember. You know, And so if there was anybody to give it to, you know, give it to him. And you know, I guess Gostkowski's another guy who's going to be up in a couple of years too. We'll talk about that, but you know, those there's very few kickers that you could just resonate with and remember, like, hey, this guy's coming up. He hit these massive field goals. He's kicked off essentially the Patriots dynasty with like all his kicks. Like, so it's just I don't know where their heads at. Where is the Hall of Fame voters' heads at? Like, what is it that gets you into the Hall of Fame? Do you just have to have elite stats? Is this a big is it a stats contest? Is it a popularity contest? Is it because what is it? What is your basis? Because it just seems like they're all over the place now. Like, what's the merit that gets you in? Like, am I going to the Hall of Fame to see Eli Manning, or am I going to see fucking like Jared Allen, or Sterling Sharp? No offense to Sterling Sharp, great player in his own right. Very small sample size. But again, if we went small sample size, why is it Luke Kuechly, like Sterling Sharp? I keep saying Sterling Shepard. It's killing me. Sterling Sharp had a small sample
muscle memory.
Yes, yeah. Sterling Sharp had a small, but prolific sample size. Kuechly was right the same. Why didn't he get in?
Kuechly was, and no, the argument against Eli is that he wasn't elite. He wasn't first team All Pro, no MVP votes. But like, if you want to use that logic, Luke Kuechly was completely elite at his position, top of the game. He was automatic, like All Pro. He was ridiculous in his 8 years. And if you want to say it's just the sample size, okay. But Vinatieri, I don't think there's no excuse for Adam Vinatieri not being in there. And Eli Manning not even making it. That worries me because it's the same voters, right? It's the voters every year. So if these guys were against Eli Manning for holding a grudge, for forcing a trade the day he was drafted, or and our fearless leader has joined us. What's up, Eli Rash? Welcome to the round of applause.
Round of applause. I never got that before. That's amazing.
Yeah. Nobody can do an intro like you, but welcome aboard. As you could tell, we're just ranting about the news last night and how Eli Manning not only didn't get in his first try, but didn't make it to the final cut and wasn't close. But maybe the most maddening thing is that you can have 5 guys in any given year, and they just chose to do 4.
Right.
And that's the crazy part. It's just like, what's the rule change? I mean, I get it. He was far off the bubble. And you can argue about Adam Vinatieri. You can argue about Luke Kuechly. You can argue about those guys. But here's the kicker. I mean, the kicker should have made it, actually. That's no pun intended.
Hey.
But with that being said, it's just like, man, hardware makes a difference. So you can argue against the Luke Kuechlys that Eli should have been ahead. And also special teamers, guys, like you said it, Hef. I was watching in the background. You also said those guys are a little bit different. You treat them a little bit different. But however, we understand the power of Adam Vinatieri. I'll tell you this. I think you can make an argument and say Eli might have been better than that too. But rumor has it is that he wasn't even close. He wasn't even close to getting in anywhere near or sniffing a top 4 or top 5, which is insane to me. So why the rule change? And we're going to break that down in a second, guys, because I want to make sure I get your opinions and etc. Because I'm going to go off just for a little bit of a tangent, but I want you guys to go ahead and continue to do your thing while I figure this thing out of how to put it without giving too much up for what we got behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, guys. Do what you got.
Can I just say something? And Jeff, you made a point earlier on, like a lot of the knock on him was like he was never top 5 at his position. Well, you know who was top 5 at his position when he was playing? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, like Phillip Rivers. Do you get what I'm doing here? Like Stafford. All these are slam
class
dunk.
Yep.
Slam dunk. Like that was one of the generational times of quarterbacks during the same period that Eli was in the, let alone his class, which was one of the best classes to ever come through. But like Yeah, he's going up against some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. You're using that as a knock against him, even though like he beat the greatest of all time twice. The knock against him is that he wasn't better than not once, wasn't a fluke, twice. But the knock is that he's not better than the greatest of all time, so he shouldn't belong in the Hall of Fame. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
So people are picking and choosing, when certain things matter. And there's another quarterback, and I was watching on a show this morning, and they called out his name. Well, by that logic, he should be in because he won 2 Super Bowls. And it's like you're picking and choosing. It's like the stats only matter because he played so long. That's a testament to him. Yes. In an Ironman sport, he played 16 years without missing a game due to injury. That's more reason for him to be in the Hall. He is top. He's 11th in passing yards, passing touchdowns. He's got the stats. He's got the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Hall of Famer. There is no question. So why, when there's an empty spot and you're allowed to put in 5 guys, why is Eli Manning not there? Why is Adam Vinatieri not there? And why is Luke Kuechly not there?
And let me just say another thing. Like, he's still 11th all time in passing yards.
Ahead
of the likes of John Elway, Warren Moon, Fouts, Russell Wilson probably gets in, but he's ahead of Joe Montana, Unitas. Like, what metric are you going by? Because he has the longevity, he has the passing touchdowns, the passing yards,
and I think he was like 7th when he retired on the all-time.
Yeah, he was up there, right? He was top, but he's now 11th in both touchdowns, and he's still 11th, and he's been retired since 2019. So that just goes to show 2020, whatever it is. But 5 years later, in what is now a huge passing league, he's still 11th overall. When he retired, and that's the metric. Eventually he's going to get passed because everybody's just
Mahomes will get there eventually.
Yeah, but also Eli Manning in the first half of his career, he was in a run-based offense, right? They ran the ball a ton because rightfully so. They had a great offensive line, and it worked. It worked. Defense, offensive line, Eli off play action. That curtails his passing numbers a little bit, and so of course it could even be more prolific if they didn't do that. Go ahead.
I got a question for you guys. When you look at Matt Stafford, because again, Matthew Stafford passed Eli Manning in the all-time passing yards, correct? So let me ask you this. Right now, if he was to end his career right now, is Matthew Stafford a first ballot Hall of Famer in your opinion? Talk to me.
Hall of Famer, yes. First ballot, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me make this clear. A lot of people will say, man, Matthew Stafford is a lock. Some people will say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. No denying the outcry will be real serious if he doesn't get first ballot Hall of Fame more than Eli. Cool. No problem. Statistically, he's up on Eli pretty much in every category, right? I get that. But here's what matters. Hardware. Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowl wins. Eli Manning has 4 Pro Bowl appearances to Matthew Stafford's 2. And Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowl MVPs, which Matthew Stafford has it sniffed. We do understand regular season has to count, right? I get it. Regular season, Matthew Stafford is that guy. But let me tell you what separates the best from the average guys. Playoffs, where it matters most. Eli Manning, it is a stone cold killer. Everybody will tell you right now, if Eli Manning was playing in the game, they'll tell you, man, I wish I had an Eli Manning on my team because that guy showed up when it mattered the most. You got all these elite passers out there right now, a la Josh Allen, a la Lamar Jackson. I get it. They're all special talents. But the one thing that they're lacking and that they're missing is that killer instinct. And you know who had it? Eli freaking Manning.
Big time.
2015 playoffs. Guess who was the guy that they were calling a bum and washed up? Guess who showed up? Eli Manning. Guess who didn't show up? The team around him. Let me take it back a little bit for you guys, because I'm sorry. Let me get on a tangent. I apologize.
Go ahead now. I'm cooking on something in the background here. Go ahead.
I appreciate you. 2007. When you look at that roster, the Eli Antonio Pierce, which everybody was like, he's done. He's just a role player. Let's look at it. Let's really, really, really look at it. and look at the rest of these Hall of Fame inductees, the Antonio Gates, which has a Latainian Thomason, which is a Hall of Famer. But when you look at that roster in 2007, there was only one bona fide Hall of Famer on that roster. And guess who his name is? Speed, I know you know. What's his name?
Oh, Michael Strahan.
Michael freaking Strahan. Okay, let's take it to 2007, where Eli Manning was throwing to Hakeem Nicks.
2011, you mean?
I'm sorry, 2011. Forgive me.
Yeah.
When he was throwing at Hakeem Nicks, not a Hall of Famer. Victor Cruz, undrafted free agent, household name, Eli Manning. Okay. The offensive line, maybe Chris Snead can be that type of guy in the Hall of Fame, possibly. That's the only one, maybe. But who knows? But look at that roster in 2011. No Hall of Famers on that team whatsoever. The guy Eli Manning was throwing to freaking Dominic Hickson, for goodness sake, out there. Players like that. Don't get it twisted. Plaxico Burress, Amani Tuma, not Hall of Famers. After those wide receivers couldn't do nothing more, the a la Hakeem Nicks, the Victor Cruzes of the world, and there's no disrespect to them. Please.
Yeah, they got hurt, but yeah, I hear you.
No disrespect to them, please. If they were on another team, they did nothing. The Steve Smiths of the world, I get it, they were injured, did nothing. Odell Beckham Jr. hasn't been the same since he left Eli Manning's side. Yes, he won a Super Bowl with the Rams. However, he got hurt in the Super Bowl. Still wasn't the Odell Beckham we thought he could be, especially in Cleveland. When are we going to call a spade here? When are we going to understand that not only what it takes to be a Hall of Famer is to elevate your team around you? It takes leadership. It takes character. On and off the field, Eli Manning was a guy of character. Never got into any trouble. Always led the locker room by example. Never talked much to the media and gave his hand to nobody. When are we going to call a spade a spade? Eli Manning should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I know some Giants community, the members out there, our family, saying, yo, y'all bugging. I don't see why he was you're high. The fact that you're a Giants fan and you've seen it firsthand what a good quarterback or an elite, I won't even say elite, but definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer looks like. Because you see the hell we're going through now. So you don't know what you got till it's gone. Guess what? Eli's not here. We've been trash ever since. The regular season, I get you. Eli didn't show up. Whatever you say, fine. But when it came to playoff time, there's no person I'd rather have under center. And there's plenty of teams that will agree with this than the name Eli freaking Manning. Even Peyton Manning will choke in the playoffs sometimes.
Oh, he did a lot.
If you want to call the GOAT, if you want to call the GOAT Tom Brady, shoot, he choked twice.
And Rodgers choked a bunch too.
I'm just saying. And these are first ballot guys, right? I'm just saying those guys choked in the playoffs, but guess who didn't when it count? Every time he was in there, that guy came in and gave it his all. That's the killer instinct. And if you look at Troy Aikman, which is a first ballot Hall of Famer, Eli got him beaten a lot of numbers too. But he was a first ballot. And I understand times were different, but also Troy Aikman had a lot of Hall of Famers on there. Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith. I mean, I could keep going. Who did Eli Manning have? I'll wait.
Yeah, straight. I mean, you're right.
Can we stop? Can we stop with the BS? Can we stop with the malarkey? Hall of Fame, you got it wrong. Committee, you got it wrong. I don't care what no one says and no one tells me. If you're talking about I'm biased, talking about I'm blind to see. No, listen, I may wear glasses, but my brother, I saw all the years of Eli Manning. And when it came to playoff time, there's no person I'd rather had on the center than Eli freaking Manning. Hall of Fame, you got it wrong. You got it twisted. And anybody that thinks the opposite, I want to definitely test your mental capacity. I really do.
Eli.
It's a crying shame, man. It's a crying shame we're going through this right here. It's a damn shame for Eli Manning. Let's say that. I apologize. Go ahead.
You're good. You're good. Perfect timing, because what people talk about, I don't know if you could see this that well, and I apologize if not. Shout out to this guy, Jeff Keith Wicks. Can you guys see this okay?
Yeah,
Jeff
absolutely.
Keith.
Perfect. Shout out Keith.
So talking about Pro Bowlers that these quarterbacks have played with, and people are like, oh, Big Ben, Phillip Rivers is better. Drew Brees is like, and the numbers, the stats, whatever you want to talk about. Look at all these ticks represent Pro Bowlers that these quarterbacks have played with. Okay.
Insane.
You see how many? Plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty. Let's go. God, please work.
Oh, we can't see
Wow,
Eli.
yeah, I didn't even see the Drew Brees OL part. Look at all those ticks for the OL.
Look at that. Why can't I scroll down? Like, come on. It's just,
Shut up.
We're live. We're live. Don't worry.
There we go. Hey,
There's
listen,
Eli.
you can make it out. You could see. You can see here. Not a lot of ticks for our boy.
Look at Eli, what he's got compared to these other guys.
It's pathetic,
Right?
dude.
And sorry, that was clumsy. But like the other thing, Spiro, you hit on it in the pre-show. Talk to me about Eli's record, how he started his career.
And again, a lot of those ticks were probably early on in his career because prior to 2013, Eli was 78-57. 78-57. That's 21 games over 500. We're not even having this conversation if fucking Reese and Gettleman and everybody drafted right for him and prolonged his career like the Breezes, the Rodgerses, the Roethlisbergers of the world. He ended his career 39-60 from 2013 to 2019. Our GMs are the reason why Eli is not in the Hall of Fame. They're a massive reason why he is 117 and 117. And people use that as a knock against him. But again, look at the teams he was playing with in the first 6 years of his career, and then look at what happened at the end of his career. It's clear Eli was let down multiple times. And you said it yourself, Eli. Look at the playoff stats. I consider all his. Let's just take his entire playoff career as a season, right? I know it's only 12 games, but I think it's a pretty decent sample size. I mean, the dude went 8-4, 2,800 yards passing, 18 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, and 3 of those interceptions came in his first game, his first playoff game. He was flawless, even to the last Packers game. Which is, again, his fucking teammates let him down. He had Odell Beckham dropping touchdowns, Sterling Shepard dropping touchdowns. Eli came to ball that day, too, on his last fucking leg. So, when the games mattered the most, Eli stepped up all the time. And, again, it's weird how it gets, we don't even, factor in the playoffs. Because it's this weird thing that people are doing, he got carried by good defenses. He didn't have good defenses. He had a good defense in 2007, but it wasn't great. Honestly, the front four was great, but there wasn't a great overall defense. Only Giants fans can name the people in the secondary in 2007.
And everyone knows it's about who's hot at the right time, and that's when the Giants pass rush both years just fucking completely came alive in the playoffs. And got
but
healthy.
These weren't great defenses. These
weren't all-time defenses. They're not. But people remember those games, right? I remember the second Super Bowl. OC was hurt a lot and got healthy just in time, and then he picked up, and then he was OC. And they were deadly. But yeah, the O-line. It just really speaks more to Eli the success that he had, because when you gave him enough, he made great things happen. When you give him nothing, he still carried them to the playoffs in 2016, and Odell dropped everything that was thrown to him. And it could have been different, but it just speaks to how far the Giants have fallen. And we're trying not to get depressed, right? We're trying to keep the vibes high here. After Sunday, we put a rest to what has been the most miserable season as a Giants fan. No matter what happens Sunday, Monday, we move forward. Yep. Maybe we need a show Monday if we could squeeze just one in.
Cleanse. The cleansing show.
It's honestly, we're not even going to talk. It's just going to be a holistic meditation.
We bury a football together or something like that. We bury a Giants. Oh, my 100-year banner. I'll bury that. Bury it.
There you go. There you go.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bury it. Whatever 100-year gear you have.
Oh my God.
Bury it.
Oh my God. Put that away.
Is there anything more cursed than this?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Jeff,
put that away.
You're gonna videotape burying that. I'm gonna videotape burying my fucking banner. And Eli, if you have anything Giants 100, bury that shit too.
Fuck no, I don't.
What's gonna happen is the Eagles are gonna fucking win the Super Bowl just because that's the right. It's the perfect capper.
Only way this season can end now.
Yeah, it's the perfect capper. Saquon raising the fucking trophy. That's how it's gonna end, right?
It's gonna happen.
Saquon's MVP. You know that's happening.
Oh yeah.
If they win, it's gonna be Saquon.
Oh my God.
So I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think the bias is here, right? Because there had to be something. It couldn't just be on pure talent alone, or that Eli didn't even finish in the top 10. There had to be something else here, right? Like, do you think that like it was bigger than
Manning?
Well, that's one of them. You know, do you think? I thought it was going to be a plus. Turns out it might be a minus to his record because they didn't want to show bias.
Peyton Manning set the bar. So his last name being Manning, his brother Peyton setting the bar. That's what did it.
Well, set the bar. And also, they're thinking like he wouldn't got drafted if or he wouldn't be a person if it wasn't for his brother. You know, like they're totally discrediting what Eli did in his career. But also, all right, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No. I want you to cook. Keep cooking because I definitely got it. I definitely got an idea.
Right, like you can expand on it, but it's like, did people are saying that like, hey, if he wasn't a Manning, this wouldn't even be a conversation. He would never even be thought of as a Hall of Famer, which I think maybe is even the opposite of that is true. But is it that, or is it that it's this first ballot thing where it's like, yeah, if you're a first ballot, that means you're like electric. And they couldn't put him in on the first ballot because he's borderline. Like, which bias do you think it is most? And go off, E, real quick.
Conspiracy theory, Eli. All right.
Yeah.
That's all this is right now. Is conspiracy theories.
I'm gonna tell you this, guys. You know what really rubbed him the wrong way? The fact that he came out of school and did not want to play for the San Diego Chargers at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I am not going there. I want to go to somewhere else. And he wanted to go to New York, and he forced their hand. I'm telling you right now, remember the year that he did it? I remember it like it was yesterday. It was such a taboo.
Oh, yeah.
It was such a taboo for him to do that. They were like, who the hell did this guy think he is? That Hall of Fame committee, they're a little bit older than us. They're not that old, but they're a little bit older than us. And guess what? They have a very good memory of that. I'm telling you right now, what was the bias of that? Him manipulating the system and getting the team that he wanted to play for.
But that was
I really wholeheartedly think it's that right there. It's the fact that he was able to make a career from himself and not go to the Chargers at that particular moment. So they remembered that. That's why everybody's like, man, is Sanders going to do the Eli Manning? Eli Manning is known for not playing for a team he wants to play for. They call it the Eli Manning. Let's be honest, right? I think it's really that because I do remember playing this day. They were like, who the hell does he think he is? Because for you to not receive any votes or very little votes, come on, man. Come on.
And Giants 100 too. And Bartlett brings it up. Like, this was a Giants 100 season. It was probably the worst season on record in our history. The Giants are a pretty flagship franchise in the NFL. The NFL couldn't do the Giants a solid at all. Like, maybe like match up a shitty Hall of Fame class. No offense to all the Hall of Famers, but it's a low bar Hall of Fame. Giants 100 season, they were so terrible. They couldn't even like, hey, let's give him this. Like, let's give Eli Manning, his shine. Because if it's not now, and we'll talk about this afterwards, Jeff, I want to hear your thoughts on the last, what your bias thought was. But like, if it's not now, we're going to talk about when. I'll talk about that a little bit after. But Jeff, what do you think is bias here? Is it first ballot or is it the Manning name? That was a bigger issue here.
Yeah, it's hard to step out of the lens of a Giants fan. Because like there's some, media heads and on TV saying he's got to be first ballot, and they're fans of other teams, right? Like Greeny is a huge Jet fan. He's coming out saying he deserves it, and other guys are like, does he? So yeah. you got to step back a little bit. I don't know if it's like quite the outrage that Giants fans are feeling. I know we got a couple supers here. We got a cool sound to play or something.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Hold on.
Holy shit! A super chat.
Thank you, boys.
That's so cool. Who did that?
Greg.
Greg, Revival.
We got to name off Fan of the Month here, but we got to have Greg on before we can fully cleanse move on to the next one, right?
Yes.
Fan of the Month sounds so cliche. Revivalist.
Revivalist.
That is so much better.
Come on, bro.
Greg, some folks been making comments around hypocrisy, around naming wins or Super Bowl wins or stats or Pro Bowls, and every time it contradicts any other argument, he belongs. Yeah, like everybody has their own like reasoning, but how could they all come to the same reasoning that Eli wasn't in the top 10 in a weak class? Again, makes no fucking sense. But Greg, you're right. Everybody uses their own excuse for why Eli doesn't belong. Right? It's just it's shocking.
It's a weird class. Like it seems like the list of finalists is better than the list that got in.
Yeah,
who was banging the table for Eric Allen? I had to Google him. Who's banging the table? How does he get past these guys?
This was
Sorry.
a year that we were making rights to people that missed way back. Why was this the year?
That's why.
Why was this a year?
Then use the fifth spot. You got an extra spot.
Exactly.
That is that keeps being like the ultimate cherry on top. You had another fucking spot. You got 3 guys that deserve to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
Listen,
bro.
I'm upset. You can tell by the tone of my voice. I'm pissed.
I woke up pissed. And what it's done, and again, Sal's in the I see you out there, Sal. Like what it's done is galvanized the Giants fans for once on something, right? Like the majority of Giants fans, we can all fucking agree on something for once that this man, our man, was wrong. And we have nothing to care about. We have nothing to fight about right now. But what we do have to fight about now is getting Eli Manning in the fucking Hall of Fame. And I will fight to the end of the day, every year, to get his ass in there. I'm going to show up maybe in Canton. I don't know. Maybe I'll show up in Canton this year with a boycott sign saying Eli Manning deserves to be a Hall of Famer. I don't know what I'm going to do. But what I do know is I have all the time in the world right now because the Giants suck. And I need to get Eli Manning into the Hall of Fame, and I'm going to make it my whatever fate.
You want me to go to Canton and hold up a sign? I will. I got spare time.
I'll do it. Well, let's one more super chat before we get going here.
Let's go.
Bartley's a fucking coming in with a bang.
Not to be confused with Bill the Bar.
This is Bartlett. The bar. This is Bartlett.
Bartlett. Yeah, man.
73. 73 down here in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, to start the weekend. Look, good for you, man. We're jealous. It's about to snow again here. Let's go, fellas. Only the Giants could F up a 100-year anniversary. It's just shocking, dude. Shocking how bad. Like, if you had a list of how things could go wrong, like, we checked every box.
Terribly wrong.
Every box.
Everything bounced the wrong way. Every move. You let McKinney walk because you don't want to pay him, all pro. You let Saquon go, lands with your fucking most hated rival, and he's the best offensive player in the league.
Yeah.
Historic season.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Historic. Not just a good season. Historic.
Leads them to a Super Bowl.
Stays
Eli
healthy.
gets snubbed. They need to bury that hashtag. Can we bury how do you maybe that should be part of our ceremony. Say what you said about the hashtag. That was really good. I like it. They need to update Giants 101. Get back to basics. You know? Bury the Giants 100.
I like it, dude.
Done.
I like it.
I like that one. No, I think we should coin that phrase. That's a good one.
I think we got that, dude. I like it.
We should coin that phrase.
All right, we own it. It's official. You heard it here.
Copyright it.
You heard it here.
And make sure we copyright it before Giants take it.
Eli, do you have anything more to talk about this? Because before we go, I have one more thing I want to bring up with you guys. Yeah. Well, it's all up. After this weekend, Monday, we all flushed this horrific season behind us. We have an awesome draft to look forward to. Maybe, or hopefully, it's awesome draft. And that's where we're moving on. But what I want to talk about real quick here is Josh Allen, 2024 MVP over Lamar Jackson. What are your thoughts on this whole thing? Eli, what?
All right,
yes, no?
Yeah, I mean, listen, as much as you want Lamar to win one back-to-back, he just couldn't, man. You got to give it to the guy. I mean, he was very, I won't say very close, but he was definitely up there as far as how Lamar Jackson played. So I thought it was well-deserved. I thought he did a really good job. Again, I didn't want to see Lamar take home for 2 years in a row. So very well-deserved. Josh Allen is an actual beast. He played above the X's and O's. It's just that Pat Mahomes curse, man. I don't know what it is, but geez, man. I just hope these guys can win one by the time it's all done, because for sure you got to put an asterisk next to it. When it's all said and done, if they don't have hardware and they have all these MVPs, are they really a Hall of Famer? I mean, Cam Newton's still fighting to get in there. I'm just saying.
That's a great question.
Just saying.
So if Lamar Jackson ends his career, say, in 2 years, is he a Hall of Famer in your mind?
Yes. Not a first ballot.
Not first. Maybe not first ballot.
Let's stay with the first ballot topic, because that's what we're talking about, Eli, right? So if there was to end it right now, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they won't be first ballot Hall of Famers right now.
So what you're saying, is then regular season doesn't matter if he's not first ballot.
I thought it was hard.
Right.
I know
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Lamar Jackson isn't a Hall of Famer now, then winning 2 MVPs really meant nothing, and all his regular season success meant
and
nothing.
it could have easily been 3 MVPs.
Right. So, but if you switched it, and Eli has the opposite, where he has all his postseason success, that doesn't mean nothing. So, what does it have to do? What does it have to be? You have to be
Exactly.
There's
There's different criteria. Obviously, like you
Right.
can't. It's not the same set. Like in my mind, Lamar Jackson is a truly unique one-of-one quarterback. Where
Sure.
yes, like
Absolutely.
first ballot, and he's not even close to done yet. Like he played his best football this year.
No Super doesn't matter. Super Bowls or not, first ballot.
You gotta win. Like to me, you gotta win. Like, listen, we can argue Cam Newton was a league MVP. Cam Newton was taking the league by storm, and he's not a first ballot. So for me
He's
to
not
sit here,
going to be second ballot, in my opinion.
You know what? And Cam Newton's not
No,
going to have
He won one MVP and one good season.
and it's
Truly special season.
and it's political too. Like you would think that would help Eli because he's like, clean cut. He's on TV. He's relevant. He's well liked. Cam Newton is like a kind of a polarizing figure. He says, I doubt he has a ton of friends that are going to bang the table for him, and someone who's going to change minds about Cam Newton when he's out there like kind of talking shit on everyone.
This motherfucker said he'd rather have an MVP than a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
What an idiot. What an idiot. What an idiot.
Lost all respect.
If he would have won that Super Bowl that year, he'd have been a lock. He'd have been a lock. You get what I'm saying? Just like Lamar and Allen, there will be a lock if it ended today. They got a whole lot more career to go.
Sal's got an awesome prediction here. This is thank you so much, Sal.
Oh.
Eli will be inducted to Hall of Fame 3 days before Shedeur Sanders leads the Giants to their 5th Lombardi trophy. It'll be much sooner than it feels right now. It's written. Believe it and it will happen. Go, John. I love the
Is this Sal?
Yeah,
this is our Sal.
That's our Sal. That's our
I gotta pick Sal's brain, man, because he just said Shedeur, and I heard him banging the table, and this is a while ago, Sal. I don't know, you probably changed your mind, but he was banging the table like none of these quarterbacks are it. So you just said Shedeur. I gotta pick your brain.
No.
Which one is it?
Watch the He's a Giant episode. He likes Shedeur. He likes Cam.
That's what I like.
He says he wants to take one of these two, which again is what most
Sal,
of us
just
think.
put in the chat. Which one would you take before, like Cam or Shedeur? Which one would you take? Like, which one has the higher upside? You just put in the chat for me, brother. I'm curious. Well, we got to have him on the show, and I got to ask him that.
We're gonna have Sal and Monty on the show.
Yeah,
they're gonna give us their expert opinion.
Thank you, Sal.
He wants to do it. He wants to do it. There you go.
See, this is why I yell at Speed, guys. You don't know behind the scenes, me and Speed go at it. This is why I yell at Speed. Here's a guy that studied college film, right? As far as Sal. And I go, man, Shedeur has the higher upside. And you know what this freaking guy has the nerve to say, freaking Speed? No, I'm telling you, it's Cam Ward. I'm telling you, it's Cam.
I'm telling you, it's
high,
Cam.
bro. Stop getting high. All right, I'm telling you.
Look at what Sal also said. Look at what he said. Cam is the upside guy. Shedeur is my guy. You're talking about upside. You talk about if you unlock the highest level. Cam's got the highest. We're gonna have this. Let's not do this before we do this.
Sal, you was just rocking with me, Sal. Now I'm about to I gotta check your mental here, Sal. I gotta make sure you're not in a straitjacket here, Sal. You know what? We're gonna get on the show. We're gonna talk about this on the show.
I think it's we're definitely gonna have that. We're gonna have that episode, and I don't care if we spend the whole time on those two quarterbacks. It needs to happen. Bartlett, are you kidding me, bro?
Oh, he might set the new bar. Where's Hartnett?
He might be.
Where's Hartnett?
We might have our February fan of the month before we might have it. We just got
Listen, you say fan of the month one more goddamn time, Steve.
We didn't spend all that time building this brand.
We built this. They're not fans. They are family. They're revivalists. God damn it, Steve.
You're right. You're right.
You say that one more goddamn time. Dude, I'll give it up. I'm good with Bartlett right now.
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's
do it. Bartlett, February revivalist of the month, man. Congratulations, brother. Oh, get the round of applause.
And he's a newer listener. I think he only jumped on board last month. We met Bartlett.
We love you,
so what does that mean? Meaning you get to come on the show, rock out with us, man. You don't have to put your camera on. Just come and rock out with us. DM us,
still waiting
man,
for you,
some
too.
details and what have you on, man. Come talk some Giants football or New York sports, whatever sports. No matter. We're all into it.
Oh,
Speed's
yeah.
the genius, so he'll talk about volleyball.
He's the
Speed's crazy.
producer. You talk to him.
Yeah, Speed's crazy. Speed be
Hey.
telling us, yo, man, did you see that volleyball tournament? I'm like, there was volleyball, bro? Like handball, too?
There's-
Jesus.
Hey,
Watch some beach volleyball.
waste management tournament is going on. That's my shit right now.
Oh,
Waste
that's
management
the
golf.
most fun. That's the most
That's
fun
a
golf
bucket
tournament.
lister. Bucket lister. If you ever were to go to a golf tournament and
Is
you
it
want to
ours?
just flat out have fun, it's in Phoenix,
Phoenix.
and it's just a shit show from day one to the Sunday. Like, it's just fantastic. We have to get there as a group. Let's go do this, brother. We love you, Greg. We love you, revivalists of the month.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Facts.
Hey,
Hey guys,
hey,
we had a fun time.
oh yeah, for sure. I don't know. We got to run. I'm sure. I'm sorry, guys. I came in late.
No,
So I was gonna
no. Don't say sorry.
all this shit. But quick predictions for the Super Bowl. Go. I know we did them before. Go. Change your mind.
28-27 Chiefs. I'm sticking with it. 28-27 Chiefs.
Oh my God.
Ooh, 31-21 Philly. Hate to tell you.
24-16 Philly. And it's just gonna.
Oh.
I know. I hate it, guys. I don't want to say this shit. I don't want to say it, but it's like we talked about. This is the fucking shit cherry on top of the fucking shit sandwich on top of the shit sundae. Whatever the fuck. It's been the worst.
Sounds crazy.
Yeah. Listen.
Shout out Sal, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Nobody loves when Spiro sings more than Sal. Taco.
Oh, I like that, man. I like that.
Real quick, do you
Yeah.
think there's any bit of a bias that we're going to see in this game because Goodell came out saying, the Chiefs don't get all the calls? Do you think there's a little memo that went out to the refs? Is there something in their mind collectively, subconscious, like don't make the questionable call? Like,
Dude, I had that same thought. We didn't even talk about that. But I'm afraid there's going to be an overcorrection.
you're right.
Ooh,
I'll-
don't say
that's what I'm
that.
saying.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah.
Like the
That's
Eagles
gonna
get the
kill it.
call now, or they don't call an obvious one for the Chiefs because we can't let this. We don't want to be put in a situation where it looks like we're biased again. So we're not going to do it. Subconscious, not even knowing, even if the memo didn't go out.
I just hope. Just let them play. If
hope
you're
you're
going to
right.
have an egregious call that you miss on the Chiefs, then guess what? You better reverse that. Just let them play then. Just let them play and miss the calls at this point. I mean, nothing too crazy, obviously. But at this point, if you're going to do that, just let them play. Like, that's all I want to see is letting them play. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you missed a hold right there. All right, cool. You know what I mean? He missed a hold on the opposite side. Like, we've seen him, level the playing field a little bit. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm curious to see, but he definitely, Speed answered that. He definitely was like, yo, you got to call this down the middle and make sure there's nothing in the way of this.
Well, because remember how the last one ended? The Bradbury, I think it was he tugged him. He tugged him, and that was the game-changing pass interference or defensive hold. I forget what it was called.
It was a great call.
At the end of the game. Great
call.
call, in my opinion. It was an honest call. But there's I just want to see a fair ref game. That's all I want to see on Sunday. Just give us a right down the middle, no bias either way, and let the players fucking decide. Let them decide.
Yo, shout out to Eli Rap.
Hey.
Putting another rap out there. He made the people wait far too long. Get in the habit of throwing these out there.
Please.
Dude.
Yo,
They're so good. I love it.
Want to know something crazy? Shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony, Mr. Crazy Bone himself, friend of the show. Man, hit me up, was like, yo, I didn't know vibes. So shout out to Crazy Bone, man. We appreciate you. Thank you for the love. Shout out Ransom. Hit me up as well. Was like, bruh, I like all that, but you got to start saying it with your chest. I was like, you're right, Ransom. I'll get it going.
Yeah.
So, guys, my mentors that I look up to, I'm a huge Bone Thugs fan, huge Ransom fan. So the fact that they hit me up sidebar, man, was just absolutely amazing. Made my dream come true. So there'll be some more of that, showing a little hidden talent I don't have. So I appreciate you guys.
You
We'll
are a
definitely
rapper.
get some more.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Hey,
I'm
hold
not a
on.
rapper.
Wait, before we go, because I didn't say this, and I want to get to a real quick opinion. We're never going to end the show, but because of me. I want to talk about eligible players.
We know.
I know. Eligible players. Eligible players in 2026. Breeze, Fitzgerald, Gostkowski, and Pouncey maybe, but Breeze is getting in, right? And Fitzgerald's getting in.
Oh yeah.
Eli's not getting in on that class, right? If you keep it small, does Eli make it in that class? I don't know.
I bet you they'll
then
have
the-
a fifth. I bet you they'll have a fifth, and he'll make
I
it.
hope that's the year because
bet you.
because then we get into the following year, 2027. Sorry, AP, Gronkowski, Big Ben, Whitworth is a lineman, but I don't know. Maybe he gets in. Sherman's in there. I don't think you're gonna stuff him in that class. He's gonna be like in the middle. He's not gonna be a name.
Richard Sherman's in that class in 27.
Richard Sherman's in that class.
And
yeah,
like,
bro.
and it would be
Antonio Brown,
ridiculous.
who-
That's where I draw the line. Whitworth and
right. That's what I'm
Sherman.
saying. He's just
Yeah,
not
you know.
a right. But
Great.
it's like,
You wanna- if
It
there's
has to be
all-
next year. It
If
has
there's
to be next
real greats like Gronk, yeah, like he's in the conversation for best tight end of all time. He should go first ballot, absolutely. Larry Fitz, ridiculous career, absolutely got to go.
Breeze.
Breeze,
First
Yeah,
for Larry.
yeah,
No
yeah.
hardware.
Yeah. Well, again, wide receiver is the one.
Hardware.
Again, for hardware, when it comes to hardware, I think quarterbacks matter the most when it comes to that because
Yep.
they have the biggest hand in that. A wide receiver has to rely on his quarterback, to get in the ball.
Okay.
You're not winning a Super Bowl with fucking Joe Schmo, back there throwing it to spits.
Okay.
He did his, but and then I will say that last year that we're 2028, Tom Brady, JJ Watt,
No.
Matt
he ain't
Ryan.
getting
You know,
in there. He's
and
not
I
getting
don't
in
think
there.
Matt
Matt Ryan, he'll kill Matt Ryan. He'll kill Matt
You would think, but
Okay.
I mean, fucking Jared Allen and Sterling Sharp got over him this year.
I don't
So
know.
where are we drawing the
that's
fucking
the
line?
outcry. That's the
Where
outcry.
are we drawing the
Steve.
line?
Yeah, it's right. That's the outcry. It's like, man, how did these guys? You could have pushed them along and made them the first ballot. But if he has to go to 28, he could beat out Matt Ryan. But I literally, I
but
seriously
if you
think
put it in the class with Tom Brady, Tom Brady's going to win that.
That'd be
The
fun.
whole Hall of Fame year is going to be about Tom Brady. You're going to stick Eli Manning in with there, like, hey, Tom, this is your year. But remember, the guy that beat you twice, we're
That would
going to
be
stick
awesome.
him with you too.
that's funny. I ain't gonna lie. Full
Those
circle moment.
speeches would be so good. Brady would be like,
Oh.
"You just can't let me have anything, can you?"
Yeah.
That'd
I'd
be
love
great.
to see that.
Back
Well,
to
listen,
basics, guys. Back to basics.
Giants 101 back to basics is now our new hashtag on New York Revival.
love it.
We're gonna be putting that everywhere, man. Probably
Love
make a shirt out of it or something, guys. Stay tuned for that. But man, on behalf of my brothers, man, you guys know who they are. That's Mr. Glass Half Full and that's
Nasty. I like
he likes that. He likes that.
Nasty.
Nasty.
I like it. I like it.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it. I like it.
That's the
Listen,
best, dude.
I got something for you guys at the beginning of the season. I don't know if I should say it on air, so I'll say it after the fact. Yeah, I'll wait till after the fact. And of course, my brother El Jefe, aka White Jersey, aka Blue Jersey, aka man, the Giants this is not good. This is not good. I'm just not good. Half I'm not good. Half I'm not good. We got to get on the phone. I think that's what it is. We haven't got on the phone yet.
No, we don't gotta get on phone. We gotta get in the bars.
You know what?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Let's talk
Tuesday
about
we're
that.
done.
Let's talk real quick.
wrap.
Let's wrap
We're
this
gonna
up.
We're
I
never
miss my
gonna get
brother.
off the show.
I miss my brother Hef, man. I miss my brother Hef. It's
Because
been
we're
a
the
while.
same.
We're supposed to talk.
We forget that we're on air sometimes. We're the same.
Yeah, we-
either
I
way.
know.
And that's
We do. All right, guys. I love y'all. Shout out to the Revival. It's your boy Eli Rax. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
New York Revival, I'm in the building.
Let's go.
Live with the Revival!
Let's go.
Let's go!